tragical.
Buenas noches. Everybody who is leaving is gonna miss the best advice they can get for their career and for their business. Everybody who is leaving is gonna miss my presentation, which is gonna be about not what I can offer you, but what you can do to make your work and more successful your business. I am Radim Svoboda, and I'm living in Costa Rica for the last 5 years. I call it my home, but my history is not related to Costa Rica so much. I've been doing consumer marketing and business strategy for the last 30 years or so. And today, as I have promised, I'm not going to sell you anything. I am not going to convince you to use my product, but I would like to give you something for free. I like to give back since I am no longer motivated by money and no longer motivated by the account statement of my bitcoins on my virtual account. But what gives me pleasure is to give back and see that people have used my experience. And that's going to be all about today. I'm sure you have heard enough about what AI is going to do. I'm sure you have heard enough of different products on blockchain. I've heard some speakers talk about their platforms. This is going to be about what you can do. I have some updates. The work, as you might have already seen, is no longer about what it was before AI came to place. I'm pretty sure you're here because you have seen your work is changing, your business is changing. And I would like to say your work is not going to go away. You will be here still. I do believe if I meet you next year, most of you will still be here. But it has one important condition. There will be more of the work that's meaningful. Work will no longer be about doing more and doing it faster by humans. All that will be done by something else. Now it's going to be about doing things and seeing things differently than we have until now. The technology has completely leveled out the playing field for execution, but not for imagination. Have you heard of AI that can imagine? No. AI can predict your next word. AI is on the edge of speed. Humans will never be able to benchmark that. Our human edge is about something different, and it's not speed. It's an insight. The human ability to see what others cannot, and certainly something AI cannot see. I do have bad news to start with, though. If you were up last night and you were working long hours, in America we call it burning midnight oil. If you have been one of those, it won't get you anywhere. It isn't going to push the envelope anymore. Because working longer hours and doing more work is not what it is about. With AI and automation, as I've mentioned, all that is available at our desk right now. More work is no longer better results. Work is no longer about doing more and trying to be faster than somebody else. Not our work. That's the work for the software. Us humans, we can be better at working insightfully. Working with something AI will not be able to do, I believe. The future belongs to those who can connect creativity, strategy, and purpose together. Purpose meaning why, for what purpose, for what intention, what is the reason for existence. AI cannot replicate that. No technology, no algorithm can do this. So stop doing overtimes. Stop spending time in the office at night. Go and do something much more fun. Something that can be done by AI or computers is not worth your time. Work used to mean repetition, mastery, efficiency. China has mastered that in particular. They can do things faster and better and in bigger quantities. Automation can do that too now. AI can replicate, automation can do things faster. Faster, cheaper. It's all abundant. Speed is no longer going to get you anywhere because we already have speed. So what can we as humans do? You know, ChatGPT can write a copy, an article, pretty shitty one, but it cannot feel. It cannot feel a brand. It cannot feel a sentiment. You know, everybody knows Amazon. Amazon is great at predicting what you're gonna buy. Amazon has no idea why you're buying it. You as a human, you might. If you just follow what is happening, if you just engage your human capabilities, you can be better than Amazon can. Because the computer technology can only predict as far, but you can sense. Productivity has already peaked. Amazon is amazing at predicting what you can buy, what you want. They will sell you everything in a fraction of a second. It might improve a little bit here and there. Maybe they will improve marginally a little bit their software. But the next revolution indeed is not going to be about speed. It's going to be about perspective, about what you know. When was the last time you changed something? Something that wasn't speed. Not because you wanted to or because you were told to, but because you saw something that others did not see. I believe in this hall, during this event, most of you are here because you have seen something others did not believe into, something people did not believe is gonna happen. Similarly, like Netflix. You know, Netflix didn't switch to from DVDs into internet just because they believed streaming and internet is gonna be big. They changed their business model because they saw attention of people changing. Uber didn't launch their app because they were fed up with raising hands, and not because typing on a phone is easier than raising a hand on the street. They saw something that others did not. They saw an opportunity in engaging with people differently and to break a barrier that existed between the driver and the passenger. And similarly, OpenAI didn't launch ChatGPT because they saw a need for people to ask questions. Likely, they also didn't see an opportunity that people are going to be spending more time with computers rather than with their psychotherapists. The world doesn't reward more effort. The world doesn't allow speed to take over ideas and thoughts. It rewards new insights. The deep understanding of consumer behavior is what I've been doing for over 25 years. At Leo Burnett, we had a definition of what an insight is. We said it's an indisputable human truth, a meaning that's backed with research and data. I talked about data and speed being redundant. I will never say that research is abundant. Data must be read by consumers, by us, by humans. An insight is hidden in the data. It is available only for those who think and who analyze. An insight is a hidden truth about consumers or about business, about your customer. Even Nike was working with an insight. Nike wasn't necessarily in a business of shoes, but they saw an insight. People wanted to be given a permission to do something. Hence the whole campaign of just go and do it. Nike's permission was based on an insight. Similarly, Airbnb. Their campaign of belonging anywhere wasn't built on data necessarily. It was about travel. Yes, but it was about belonging during travel. And that point of belonging was an insight into their campaign and into their brand and into what Airbnb today it is. Similarly, last case that I've worked on, Samsung. Samsung isn't about innovation necessarily. For Samsung, it is about enabling people to do something they cannot without technology. The world's best brands are not built just by sucking something out of our fingers. They are about seeing something others don't. So, what other truth are you missing about your consumer, about your team, about your business, about yourself? AI doesn't replace that creativity. It replaces the average people. It replaces the average speed. AI can do that much, much better. It can anticipate, it can see your next word, it can see your behavior better than humans will be able to. But it cannot anticipate your next big idea. In a world where everyone can generate 100 ideas in a fraction of a second, this is exactly what humans will be good at. The most valuable skill will be to choosing the one idea or the one truth that really, really matters. The truth that matters to your consumer and to your business. We have shifted already from creation to direction. Humans bring judgment. Humans bring emotion, ethics, and surprise to the world. Machines will only bring speed and structure to what we do. And if AI can do your job today, you should probably change your job right now or not even be here because it wasn't your calling in the first place. Today, most teams that I am seeing, not all of them, are busy optimizing yesterday. They are trying to do things faster. They are optimizing their online campaigns. They are trying to move from task A to task B. I encourage everybody who is here and still listening to move from comfort to curiosity. Adopt inside routines. Observe anomalies, things that are unexpected. Why? Ask yourself every single day, why is this happening? I don't get it. I don't understand that. Trust that your instinct is going to kick in the right moment when you're in the shower and wondering what is happening and why is it this particular way. You know, with Patagonia, this was typical. Patagonia didn't treat activism as a PR. They didn't say, hey, you know, it's going to be good if we're going to protect the planet and we will recycle our clothing. No, they made it their business model. And when I spoke with the founder of that company, he was completely same type of a person like I am. Why? Asking every single time why. When he was thinking, why would Patagonia do exactly the same that everybody else does, he break through. His business picked up because he was constantly on that mindset. Today, you can't innovate while defending your old model. You can't continue chasing your old success. If you have been successful with something in the past 5 years, it's not going to make you successful in the next 5. It certainly will not. So I spoke about insights, and I spoke about work no longer being about efficiency. It's about imagination. It's about creating provocation in your head. Imagination powered by insight. If you have the right insight, if you know something about the business or about the consumer, your imagination will start working. You will be thinking, what if? How could I? Why would it not work? And that is where the insights are. Listen to conversations. Go and take public transportation instead of a cab next time. I do that. And it's like sitting in a meeting room or in a research focus group and listening to what really matters to people. Ask a lot of questions when you can. When you're in a room full of smart people, do raise your hand and say, hey, I want to know something. Why is this? Why is that? It's for free. And that question will certainly get you faster somewhere where your business needs to be. Run research and think. I have seen a lot of clients who are saying, I don't have the money for research. And I keep responding, well, but do you have money to throw out of the window? Think before you do. Think before you start your next venture. In Uvita de Osa, where I live right now, they opened a bar. The first proper Western bar in the city. And you would think, what a great idea, right? You would think, oh, they have no bar here yet. That city is booming, but foreigners have nowhere to go after 9 p.m. to drink booze and get wasted. You would be surprised. That bar is completely empty. Every single day when I go home by that bar, no single person is behind the bar besides the owner and the bartender. They probably didn't do any research. They probably didn't have any of the insights, and they haven't done anything that I think they should have in order to be successful. There's plenty of failures, and every failure in business have one common denominator. These people have started something without an insight. I started with some bad news, but I certainly have good news too. The good news I will be happy to share. The future belongs to those who can see meaning where others do not, or meaning where others just see numbers, data. Think that when you sit in your next presentation and you see something on the chart, numbers, and somebody tells you, we are growing and this is declining, our competition is failing, look beyond the data. Don't ask, what do we need to do next? Don't ask like, okay, can we do it faster? Ask yourself a completely different question. Ask yourself, what needs to be reimagined? In the old worlds of Apple, Samsung, Nike, Coca-Cola, ask what needs to be reimagined, i.e. what can be done differently. That will bring you to a successful future. Remember, I said machines will do what's predictable. Humans will win by being unpredictable. You know exactly what ChatGPT is going to tell you when you enter the query. Everybody should use it. I use it all day long. And I know exactly the structure of the response. For me, it's a tool. It's not my brain. It never will be. Predictability is for any algorithm. Whether you're a fan of ChatGPT or something else, doesn't really matter. That's the domain of computers, predictability. But possibility is for people. Predictability for machines, possibility for humans. The future of work isn't about being faster, as I said. It's about being more human. Being more about our possibilities. Thinking more about what we could and thinking about why. I promised at the very beginning I will share a cheat sheet with you. Or I will give you something for free, if cheat sheet is not the term you would be familiar with. This is my gift to you all today. If you do all these things, you will be superior to your colleagues. You will be far better than your follower, than your competitor. And you will be obviously miles ahead of any computer. Far, far ahead than any ChatGPT or AI is. Become uncomfortable. And actually, you know what? Feel good about being uncomfortable. I love when I'm surrounded with new people. I'm in love when I hear people talk about topics I don't understand. You should be too, because computers are not. And you don't want to be a computer, because you cannot be as fast as any computer out there. Do more research and build the insights. When you look at the data, as I said, think beyond the data. What does it mean? Why am I seeing this? Why am I seeing that? And I'm hiring somebody to my team right now, and I've seen countless amount of resumes. Everybody was perfect, successful, and proud, and I did this, and I achieved that, and I have this reward, and I built this company, all that. I look for completely different thing. I look for people's failures. I do believe when you fail, you have something that many, many people have never actually understood they need to have in order to succeed. I am saying every single time I interview somebody, have you failed? And what have you learned? Why did you fail? And that is something the computers are obviously not asking themselves. Stop doing, start thinking. This is the reason I moved from New York to Uvita on a permanent basis. In New York, I was asked to do more, make more money, meet more clients, hire bigger teams, do more presentations, and solve more problems. And I did not have a lot of time to think. I find it a huge blessing that I can sit in my house in Uvita and I can think. And that's my added value to the business. I can add more of that thinking to clients who don't have it or who don't have the time, probably. Celebrate everything that's not normal. You know, next time you hire somebody, why don't you think of hiring somebody who is completely different than you are? Somebody who you will think, oh, that person is not normal. That doesn't even fit here. I'm not saying every not normal person is fitting into your team, but redefine what is normal for your business. And think whether the normal thing can be for your AI program, for that algorithm, and whether that not normal thing, the imaginative feeling that you can bring to your business, can be done by that human being. And lastly, and this would be my word that I would like to share with you and have you remember: purpose. Decide purpose, not just the metrics. Decide on the reason why. Don't decide on a percentage number of growth. Don't decide on market share. Don't decide on profitability. Start deciding on what humans only can decide on. And that is the magic word of purpose. Computers cannot do that. If you want to be your successful leader of your business, don't be a computer. And if you need some help, of course, there are people who can help you around that. And I'm one of many marketing strategists who can help you get to your next stage of success. Thank you for your time. Y buenas noches.
My sorrow into treasure gold.